thanks for coming to hear the Cord on the Street. Yeah, you in the back there, it looks like you have a question.
Yeah, I was just wondering, who you had hosting today?
Great question. I, for one, am your panel host, Vince, obviously. And over there is your remix vinyl host, Josh. How'd that hit you today?
That was fantastic. They continually get better.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if this podcast doesn't work out, you might be able to get a job writing other people's intros.
Yeah, okay. That'll be something. Hey, you can need you already got your intro music, which we don't have still somehow. You just need someone to do some stupid shit for you at the beginning.
Oh yeah. The tough part is like I try not to react while you're doing it. So, but I'm laughing, like silent laughing the whole time it's going on. I'm just like,
yeah, you just need like the push to mute button, just hammer it for a few seconds there.
No, I just don't let any air in or out. I'm just like a red balloon by the time you're done.
All right. Anything noteworthy happened to you this week, Josh?
Yeah, had my parents' 50th anniversary party this weekend, which you were in attendance for.
I was.
I blew up a lot of balloons for that, and I have cheek muscles that I didn't know I had that were sore from blowing up so many balloons. So, that was.
If it makes you feel any better, those cheek muscles are looking trim and proper.
Got a nice little cheek line.
You've been doing calf lifts and tongue twitches.
Yeah. Face kegels.
Yep. All right, listener. We are Cord on the Street. Every week, we choose one of 28 words from the puzzle word game Wordle that came from the previous week, and we talk about whatever the hell we can based on them. Today, our words are coming from June 19th to the 25th. If you want to see what those are, head on over to Twitter at @QuordOnTheST to see what those are. This week, we've got Josh going first. So please kick us off.
All right. So I tried to take a Vince route this week and go something that really doesn't have anything particularly to do with an interest of mine, because I seem to always lean on that. I went with CONCH because obviously it made me think of the conch shell that's, you can blow into or listen to and hear the sound of the sea, as they say.
The conch of truth.
Yep. So it made me think about shells. And I wanted to just talk about getting out of your shell or, understanding somebody's comfort zone, that kind of stuff. It made me think about, how everybody differs in that. And I'll start off with this question. I can answer it if you don't have an answer already. But what have you done that was most outside of your comfort zone?
This podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have like performance anxiety.
Oh, okay.
So like it's cropped up a few times. Like I haven't done much like where I am the focus of something, but I worked at a call center, my first job, and the first call that I took, like on training, like I had my trainer right there. He was on a little Y cable on the call. Someone asked me the most basic question and I just froze.
Wow.
I looked at him and he was going, "Come on, man, you know this." I'm like, "I know, but like," so yeah, I something like this is like totally outside myself.
That's I get it. Mine's kind of the same thing, but because it's not in front of people, I don't get the same effect. Mine is, believe it or not, the best man speech at Matt's wedding.
Oh yeah.
I am a people person all around. I'm probably what people would consider a social butterfly. And I talk to everybody and I'm really good in small groups, but I don't like being the center of attention. Like I'm fine with being of attention in a small group of people, but standing in front of people and giving like speeches and stuff is definitely not my strong suit. Now, one-on-one or in a small group, like I'm fine, but I think I was conditioned to be fine because of all my retail jobs. I just got used to it.
Yeah, sure.
but standing in front of a crowd with a mic and so that's where my performance anxiety comes in. I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've had to give one best man speech before too, and it was like I had anxiety like preparing for that also. Like,
yeah, same.
I'm like what the heck do I even say? I was it was 2017, no, 2007. So I was 17 at the time even. And like I had no idea what to do. Like I could barely finish my homework in high school, let alone write a whole speech. So like, yeah, I was just like, I don't really like doing stuff like this. So
it's like it's such a big memorable moment too. You know what I mean? It's not like you do it like I could get up in front of a bunch of people and do something like funny and be fine, but it's like it's there for a laugh. It's made to be funny. But when it's something like that where it's gonna be remembered and it has meaning and people are gonna talk about it over time, it's like I want to be perfect, so I focus on that. But there is no being perfect. Like you have to be yourself. But it's so hard to get out of your head.
It's so hard to write in your voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can just talk and be yourself or whatever. But when you try to put your own voice down onto words that you're going to read later, it's hard to do. It's something that makes comedians special, right? The ability to write something and then be able to perform it naturally.
Yeah. And two, I think for a lot of people, I think especially for myself, having basically two different kinds of etiquette depending on what I'm in. So like this versus work are two different things. And like I feel like that can cause some issues like that where you're not 100% comfortable. You're like, which version of me should I be? You want to you're writing like you'd write at work. You start to like cross over. Like I was talking to somebody. I was actually with work. Funny enough, I didn't go to work one day last week because I had a migraine, and I'm emailing. Baby. Yeah, look, they give us the days. I never used to take them.
I'm absolutely kidding.
But I'm messaging my boss, and I'm like, I woke up at like 4 a.m. I have a migraine. If I wake up at 6:30. I just woke up at 6:30 and it's still not gone. Like I can't even open my eyes. Like the light is just bad. I can't stare at a screen for 8 hours. Like I'll die. Yeah. I'm like, just having my eyes open to write this is making me feel like I want to Ralph. And I'm like, I said that because like, I don't know, saying I'm going to vomit or throw up just sounds unprofessional to me. And I sent that to her. And she forwarded it to like everybody else in the office to let them know that I wasn't going to be there. But she didn't say that it was from me. So they all thought it was her when they first started reading it until it got to that. And then the lady I worked with was like, oh, I know that was from you and not from her because she would never use the word Ralph.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it just doesn't. I was like, I was just trying to be professional. Like the other two options don't sound as good. So it's like, you write in different ways, and which one are you going to get? And then they start to mix together, and it's like, it's not a true authentic.
Yep. Yeah. I don't really get that because my job is obviously a little more casual than yours. Like I'm on the clock, but I don't have to be like professional, right? So like I don't have to do that, but I see it happen with my wife. She's one way, and then she gets on a call at work, and I hear her voice just like sort of ratchet up a little bit, and everything that she says sort of has this cadence to it where she goes up and down in pitch, and like it's a whole different voice that I don't hear outside of, like, she doesn't talk like that to me or to her parents or even to like a waiter at a restaurant. It's her work voice.
Yeah.
So like I get that. Like anyway, I wanted to, when we were talking about like getting nervous in front of a crowd, I was wondering, what is your like threshold, right? So you're standing in front of a room, put people in the seats. At what point, how many rows filled starts to make you nervous?
Honestly,
Because like a dozen people
in rows in seats, 2.
Okay.
If it's a bar full of people and everyone's scattered around and stuff, I'm fine. Like I could do karaoke without a problem.
All right.
But it's something about that formal sitting down, everyone staring at you kind of deal.
It's the number of eyeballs that are on you.
It's the focus. When the focus is completely on me, like that, I can hear a pin drop other than what I'm saying.
Yep.
That's uncomfortable.
Okay. Sure.
For me. So this leads me into my next question, which is, what is your comfort zone? So for me, I would say I am comfortable being not the center of attention. I'm comfortable having people's attention on me in small groups. And like, I'm there for comedic timing. I'm just there for a good time. I'm just, I got the 1-2 punch. I'm always listening. I'll chime in, but like, that's why I like the small groups. I don't like the big stuff. And it's like, as I get older, I like big crowds less and less. Like the crowds necessarily don't make me uncomfortable yet, but like I find myself not liking them as much. So like the idea, like I can get concert tickets through work a lot because of the company that I'm with, but it's, I give them away to friends and stuff. I just don't, it doesn't sound appealing to me anymore. I don't know. I'm not
I get that. There's a weird valley for me, where in like small groups, I'm comfortable. In large groups, like crowds, I'm comfortable, but in the middle, I get a little weird. I get a little overwhelmed, when there's like 4 groups with different conversations going on.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always somewhere in between 2. I'm listening over here. I'm listening over there. Yeah. Am I eavesdropping? Am I engaging enough in this one? That's where I'm uncomfortable. I would say, honestly, where I'm most comfortable is just not talking.
Okay.
Because even in a small group, when I get talking, I keep talking, and I don't like that either.
Yeah.
So like I start talking and I'm talking and I'm doing some yakety sort of baloney, and then I'm like, all right, I'm talking too much. And I particularly hate when like 2 people are having a conversation in the group and I start talking and everybody quiets down to listen to me. I feel like I've just interrupted something, even though we're all in a group, we're all talking.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. That's something I'm not like socially conscious most of the time, but that is something that I am very conscious of. And I like it. It makes me uncomfortable, but then I can't stop talking.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense a lot.
So I would just rather be quiet. But
you know what? I was just telling somebody the other day, I don't feel like I've learned it until like maybe time I was like 28, 29, but being an active listener is so rewarding and beneficial. Like somebody that just like, I never saw, when you're younger, I feel like it's harder to see the value in just sitting back and listening to what somebody else has to say and then forming an opinion or a thought rather than just jumping on whatever comes out first. And having that ability to just hold yourself back and let the full thought come out is something that's, I feel like, takes time to learn.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? Because I particularly have a problem with like judging where people are going, and judging what to do about it in particular. Because sometimes I see a whole thought that someone is starting to say, and I will try to preempt it. Like I see them going in a way that isn't what I meant when I said the thing before. So I try to preempt it, but then I'm cutting them off, and then they're like, "Well, you don't know what I'm going to say." I'm like, okay, go ahead and finish. And then they finish saying it. And I'm like, then I feel like an asshole being like, that is what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to like qualify what I said before that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weirdly conscious in ways like that probably, I don't know. I'm not the most socially conscious person. So it's hard for me to know what to do.
Yeah.
In any situation.
I feel like I'm decent at it. I've always kind of been that butterfly that can just bounce around.
Yeah.
I honestly would say that's probably my biggest skill. I was talking to, I think, Michael or somebody else when we were talking about, like what's your biggest asset? And for me, I just think I really understand people. If that's just one thing I'm good at is people. I understand kind of, what people like, what people want. I pick up on like cues really well, and I'm able to learn on the fly with people, which is why I think I was pretty good, I would say, at retail, and like especially at the video game store. Like being personable on the fly is a trait that you don't realize a trait until you're older, and like a lot of people lack that, and that's the difference between a good salesperson and somebody that is a public worker versus somebody that's not. Is you have to have that kind of charisma and spunk just naturally.
Right. There's something in that continuum that I lack. I feel like I am relatable.
Yeah.
There's hardly ever a group of people that I find myself in where I can't relate to something that they're saying and relate it back to something that I have experienced and have them understand what I'm saying, relate back. I'm relatable, but I'm not personable in the same way that you are. You understand a little more than me what other people are doing or want or need. And I don't get that part of it. So I'm relatable, but I'm not personal. That's why I was a little worse in replay. Like people could talk to me, but I couldn't sell them on something the way that you could.
Yeah, I think it's just you're more self-aware. I think we have other friends that are like this too. You're more self-aware than I am. Like I am more aware of other people than I am myself.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
So I think that's probably where the line flip-flops for people is like, I would say Vin's probably the same way, where he's good at reading people, but he's also, I would say he's more self-aware than that. Like he's constantly reflecting and drawing upon himself. And I feel like you kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. Except I also am bad at reading people. So
well,
I guess I skate by on my sheer relatability.
He's pretty good at reading people, I would say. But I think more so than that is he just has a huge amount of empathy. And I think that those like two traits go hand in hand. So it's just good for him in that manner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Are there anything that people do on an everyday basis that makes you comfortable? It's like their everyday tasks or things that happen that make you uncomfortable, like that you still deal with. They might not be like crippling, but things that just make you feel unease.
Yeah, it's relationship is when people talk about their relationships.
Okay.
I don't know. That shit is like I have no idea how to talk to people about that. I do a bunch of damn, that's crazy, bro. But I really don't know.
Is it because you can't draw? There's no relatability from what they're saying to you, or
I don't know. I don't relate to how other people engage with their relationships.
Okay.
I don't know. Nicole and I are like so even keel. Like, I've had a couple friends like ask me for relationship advice every now and then. I'm like, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, Nicole and I like, I don't know. I was like, we like dated, but we didn't really like date, like we were in college. So we just used that backdrop for our relationship, not in the way that like we had to like find something to go do.
Yeah.
So between that and like just the way that her and I communicate, like is kind of different than how other people relate to each other in a way. Like, I don't know.
I think that you guys are very similar in a lot of ways, and that at least that helps with it. Also, in the ways that you're not similar, you're both willing to learn and listen. So
okay, yeah,
and you both enjoy spending time with one another. So you're willing to do something that you might not necessarily want to do all the time or didn't do before, but then fall in love with. Like, I mean, look,
yeah, sure.
The entire time we were in college playing Guild Wars, Nicole didn't pick it up. Now you guys play it and she loves it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like she was willing to, now that she had time, pick something up and do stuff that she thought would cause you guys to spend time together. And I'm sure you've done the same thing. So it's like,
yeah, that's an interesting perspective, because I've heard like other people say stuff like that, right? Like, you gotta, do the other person's interest, and other people will talk about it like, I just had to, go do this, and I don't really like to, but whatever, just for her or for him. And like, I don't know, I don't want to tell you, man. Like, if I'm so I don't know. Yeah, that is a good sort of outsider's perspective. We don't have a ton of friends, so we don't get a whole lot of like outsider's perspectives sometimes.
I mean, it seems like you're both willing to go the extra mile for one another. I mean, even she listens to all the episodes and like will give feedback. Yeah. She does that because one, she cares because it's something that she knows you enjoy doing. But two, like we value her feedback. So in the same way, like she wants to do it, I'm sure she feels appreciated. And it's not like a lot of other relationships. Friends will just brush the wife off or make fun of them, or just crack jokes because that's what the guys do. But that's not every situation. I think that lends itself to it and being
you have to support each other's interests. Like she has a YouTube channel, The Brosis Effect, for anybody who somehow is listening to this and not watching that. But like I watched a lot of those. I'll still watch one every so often. I'm flaky, so I haven't stayed on it as much as she stayed on listening to this. I love you, Nicole. but yeah, like that's the sort of thing, like she wants to do that, so I'm there for her. For whatever she wants. She asks, is this editing thing, does it look good? I'm like, yeah, it looks great. I'm there for her in whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think it transfers into everything. I mean, even like, I know she'll also keep you in check. So like with the woodworking stuff, I know you had said like she was all for you doing it if you actually stuck with it, because you had to spend the money up front to do it. Like she's encouraging you to do the things. Yeah. And you can do it and spend the money. That's not the problem, as long as you're going to stick to it. So like there's just a lot of lack of that in relationships. Yeah.
Especially that, like you have to appreciate, you have to identify your own negatives. I am impulsive, and to have somebody to keep that in check is important. So like I'm impulsive, having her just sitting there keeps me in check a lot of times. She doesn't have to say anything. She keeps me in check just by being there. So the woodworking thing, like I spent 2 years watching woodworking videos thinking like, my grandfather used to do this. My father used to do this. It's something that I should get into. We have the space for it. And then I finally like brought it up to her in a real way. And she was like that last check valve for me.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're going to do it? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I've been thinking about it for 2 years now.
Yep.
So yeah, that's something too. Just having more than anything, like as cliche as it sounds, she is the most positive influence on me.
Well, and I would say that, like you said, you guys used college as a backdrop for your relationship. I would say you guys were just as much friends as you were like boyfriend and girlfriend, like that.
Yeah.
You guys don't act like the traditional couple, the stereotypical societal couple, kissy. You got to do all this cutesy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that there's a lot of that. I feel like people don't know how to be in the relationships that last or with your best friend.
We're both we're both a little uncomfortable with PDA, I think.
Yeah.
Like we have that sort of stuff. But like, I don't know, it doesn't really come out until
you're by yourselves.
Yeah. We are like, the AIM generation. We are millennials to our core. We are very aware of our audience, and we are very aware of who is around us. As much as I can say, like, I am not like socially aware or whatever I said earlier, we're definitely both aware of our audience. When we would get in a fight at the apartment, Nicole would instantly try to bring it down. Other people are around, and I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about them. But like it is important to keep in mind, like, who is around, what are other people hearing, and She's like that with strangers, but she's also like that with our friends. So yeah, like we're not like in other people's faces with it, which can be an issue. Like that makes us uncomfortable when we're around other couples like that.
So that's another thing that makes you uncomfortable is PDA.
Yeah, I guess so. Like there's a threshold to that is fuzzy and hard to define too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I put it in the context of like, how the like mildly homophobic people are.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I don't care if you do it. Just don't like put it in my face or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like that with everyone.
Okay.
Like there was some dude at work, where I used to work. He came in and he was like, yo man, fuck my wife this morning. How about you? And I'm like, why?
I didn't need to know that.
Who does that?
Like bros.
Yeah, I know. But like that makes me just as uncomfortable, if not more uncomfortable than a dude just saying my boyfriend,
Yeah.
I don't know. That really does like pucker my asshole. Sends me over the edge into like I wish I were a turtle. I could just retract my head.
You just need a constant turtleneck on.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like a soundproof turtleneck, so you just put your head in and you can't hear anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be a $1 million idea.
Right.
Send it to Mr. Incredible, whoever that dude is on Shark Tank.
Mr. Incredible. Yeah, he probably would buy it. For me, the thing that makes me really uncomfortable that happens every day, I cannot stand when somebody gets too close to me. If I'm standing in line, that, and I won't say this one makes me uncomfortable, but it makes me angry. It's like when you're in line standing, people get too close. Well, say you're in a drive-through in a car, people can't get close enough. Like they leave like a half a car's length or a car length between. And I'm like, yo, there's 3 cars in the road waiting to turn. If everyone pulled the fuck up, everyone could be in line. But instead, you got to have a full car length in front of the person because if you can't see the bottom of their tires, you're too close, apparently.
You know that the second car back can't reach the drive-through speaker.
Yep.
It's like, oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, man. I feel that.
Oh, I had to get that off because it happens so often. But yeah, just having people too close to me, like when I'm standing in line, just irks me.
People are so unaware of how they exist in the world. It's not necessarily like selfishness, right? Because like what gets on my nerve is the people who like pull up to a grocery store entrance in order to pick someone up. Like they're not being selfish, but also you have stopped in the middle of the walkway to the door and that person's not out the door yet. You're just sitting there waiting. Like it's not selfishness. It's just an unawareness of how people exist in the world. Just one of the first things that I learned when I first got a job is work with your head up.
Yeah.
Just keep your head up, see how you're relating to people in the world and see what you need to do to remediate that. Like, how hard is it? How hard is it to not park in the middle of a parking lot?
Mm-hmm. But, people just don't care.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. You know what, though? The other thing that you said that I like felt in my soul is people getting too close to other people.
Oh, dude.
The past couple of years obviously have like really put a pin in this, like made people like 6 feet apart is the best thing that has ever happened.
See, like, I agree,
but like
that's not a bother to me. I'm talking like when they're like when I can't turn around.
I know
because you're so close, like standing in line waiting to check out. Oh my God.
I know, but that's made me the pandemic has made me like so hyper aware of this. I was literally in a bakery like last week and it didn't happen to me. It happened to the girl. There was like 2 people ahead of me. This like middle-aged lady was, for some reason, literally no reason, we were the only 3 people in line. She was so close to the girl in front of us. Like, no reason. You couldn't see the menu better, couldn't see the products better. You couldn't, there was absolutely nothing. She just needed to be that close. And I could see this girl getting uncomfortable. And for me to see something like that takes an extreme act.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just weird. That, and I just thought of this one too. When you pay at the, like, so you know how sometimes at the drive-thru they'll tell you to pull up to the first window.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay at the same window that you get your food at. That like awkward time where they hand you your card back and you're trying to put it back in your wallet, and then they're trying to shove the food out the door at you. And I'm like, I got no hands. No hands. Both have things in them. Man. I like turn into a complete buffoon. I'm like, my hands lock up. I forget how to put things into my wallet. I don't know how to grab a cup. I'm like, I don't know what to do. That makes me really uncomfortable, because then they're staring at you like, hello, put your wallet away, idiot. I hate being an inconvenience. I think that's what it is. I don't like being an inconvenience to somebody, and that makes me feel like it. You're
aware of how you exist around other people. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's probably a more sophisticated way of putting it, but like, this is it. People who are aware of themselves in the world feel like this.
Yeah.
And people who are not aware of how they exist in the world are not like this. It's the people that stand in the middle of a grocery aisle, head down, looking at the nutrition facts on this fucking box of cream of wheat that they just picked up.
Yeah. In the middle, blocking the whole aisle.
Yes. Like you are in the cereal aisle. Get out. Yeah. There are a dozen other people here. Yeah. But no. Those people there is no helping them, but people like you and me, like, I constantly feel like I'm in people's way.
You know what? Number one. Continue with your.
No, that was it.
I just thought about like my number one thing. Number one, people that are like that are not aware. Old men at gyms. Put your fucking underwear on, Larry. I don't need you to fucking look me in the eyes with your balls touching the floor to tell me your story about how you were in Vietnam. Like, put your dick away and then we can talk.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, man.
Old dudes in locker rooms are so unaware of surroundings. Like, who is comfortable with that? Nobody. Other than the guy who has his balls out. Like,
back in Vietnam, we couldn't stand up or the VC would see our dicks hanging out.
Yeah. I'm just like, bro, like, it used to happen all the time when me and Dan would go, and like these dudes would be like trying to have a conversation with you. One, it's bad enough that like you don't have pants on, but they would never just like stand there like sideways. They'd always like turn towards you, put one leg up on the bench in the middle, so their fucking balls are just flailing, slapping against one leg. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, just pull the underwear up and then turn to me.
Yeah, it is one thing to not be uncomfortable. Like, I have had to change like at water parks, right? Where I have had to like build myself up to not be uncomfortable, just like trout down, boxers on.
Yep.
But to stand there and just be cool with it for like a while, that's something else. There's something else going on with that, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, like I could never, like,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I think it is. Like, I could never, because I know how it makes me feel. Like, I'm aware of what everyone else would feel like.
Yep.
Bro. So many horror stories of that. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, man. That's a brutal one. That's like that's a hard one, because like it's been such a punchline in pop culture for so long that there's no way that these guys aren't aware of this.
Oh no, they just,
you know, they've heard Don Rickles, they've heard Richard Pryor, they've heard Bill Burr, all the comedians who have done bits like this that have shown a spotlight on these dudes who are just like, you know, hanging brain in the locker room. They know.
They just don't care.
Yeah,
they think it's funny. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Maybe it's that. Maybe they're fucking internet trolls. They're locker room trolls. But like,
most of the old guys, like they just literally don't care, and they don't think about that it makes you uncomfortable. They just don't give a fuck if it does. Like they're just like, whatever. Like I just don't get it, man. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. On one hand, I can't wait until I feel like I could just not care what other people think. But on the other hand, I never want to be that person that stops caring what other people think.
Well, I don't know. It's a difference between not caring what other people think about you and not caring how you make other people feel.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, I was like, I don't really care what other people think of me all that much, but I do care how I make other people feel. Like you don't have to like me, or like want to be my best friend, but like I don't want you to have a negative connotation to me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Is there any trends or things that make you uncomfortable? Things that happen now, maybe that didn't happen before, or things in the past?
You'll have to go first on this one. I'm not sure.
I had a couple different ideas. I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with.
We'll probably end up talking about them all.
Yeah.
Because we are incapable of not.
People wearing pajama pants in public makes me uncomfortable. I don't fucking like it.
Okay.
I don't know why. Okay. Maybe I'm just too judgy, but like, I don't know. Just put some real fucking pants on, dude.
Yeah. I feel like this is something that bothered me when I was 20. It's I don't know, somewhere along the line, somewhere in my 20s, I like developed this like libertarian streak where I'm just like, why would I care what other people do? You want to wear pajama pants? Fine. You want to wear yoga pants? Fine. You want to like, whatever. Why should I care?
Oh, I don't care. I don't expect them to stop doing it. It just makes me uncomfortable.
It makes you okay. What is it about someone being in pajama pants that makes you uncomfortable? It feels
dirty.
What if they're fresh out the wash?
I don't know. There's just something about pajama pants and they feel dirty. I don't know if it's because of my interactions.
Is it because we went to the Herkimer Walmart?
That and like it's bad. It is, now that I think of it, it probably is just like me stereotyping people that wear them. But it's every interaction I've had with people is like the person either has an odor to them or they're just unhygienic. Like working in retail, you knew you were in for quite the day when your customer walks up to the counter with their pajama pants on that you see them in every time. Yeah. The same
pine tree pajama pants.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I relate to what you're saying. I do. For some reason, when I think of this, it's always pine tree pajama pants.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know.
Either that or like some Looney Tunes character.
Ooh, like a Marvin the Martian pajama pants with a Tasmanian devil, retro 80s football Tasmanian devil sweatshirt.
No. One better. It's the Tasmanian devil thing with on the shirt with him spinning, and it's on a tank top. That's a little bit too short. That's the fit. The black tank top with the green Martian.
That's that Skylar drip.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. There's just something about it that makes me uncomfortable. I like see people coming towards me, and I'm like, oh man, no, please.
Okay. I don't know. I'm sure there's something that I'm just not pulling to the front of my mind. Usually these days when I see someone doing something out of the ordinary that I think should make me uncomfortable, I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool. Like a dude with a mustache and a mullet these days.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, that's fucking cool. There's this turn that I took at some point where like I started thinking that someone just being exactly themselves is the coolest thing. It doesn't matter how fucking stupid they are, how nerdy they look, how dweebish they behave, how awkward they are. Somebody who entirely embraces themselves is the coolest possible thing.
I would agree with that.
Like if you have a goddamn pocket protector on and a calculator watch, like that is ultra cool. If you are just like fully like backwards baseball cap, sagged jeans, like god damn it, wear Jinko jeans. Go the full mile. Wear Jinko jeans.
I
And you are the
want to see
coolest
that
person in my
chain on
mind.
the right side pocket too.
Yes.
Yep.
Get stuck to your chair because your wallet chain is way too long, reaches to your knees.
Yeah.
Like that shit is so cool. People who like fully embrace the uncool parts of themselves.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think mine falls into that. I don't think it's not the item that I don't like. It's what I
people
associate
that
with
live
it.
like that though. There's people that just live like that. They're like, why would I care what other people are thinking? These are the most comfortable things that I wear. I'm gonna go out in these comfortable things.
I'm fine with it. Just wash them once in a while.
Fine. Yeah. That is a step beyond. Like, yes, like make yourself not socially, make yourself socially acceptable.
Yeah,
I guess. Like, yeah, wash your shit. I'm bad at that. Also, though, like my work clothes, I'm sure go way too long before I wash them. Like, so I don't know. Whatever, though. Yeah, fucking.
Be yourself.
I don't know.
Even if you stink.
Be yourself. Stink a little bit, but be ashamed of it.
Just wafting.
Yeah,
everybody likes the smell of their own brand.
I'm so sorry, though. Yep. Okay. I guess. I don't know.
What about you? What did you decide to go with this week?
Me, I went with Trove.
Oh, that's an interesting pick.
But yeah. What's the first word you think of when you hear the word Trove?
There's a game called Trove. That's immediately what I thought of. I didn't even think of a word. I just thought of the game.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought of a phrase, treasure trove, right? And then I thought of like, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So
yeah,
I constantly think of like a few steps down the road with these topics. But it made me think of like repurposed items, secondhand items. And then I thought of like, not just like, it's funny because when you really start to dig into this, like I thought a little bit too deep into this and I'm like, well, my house is a secondhand item. My truck is a secondhand item, but you don't really think of those things as like secondhand, right? Like someone's trash and your treasure.
Those are meant to last a long time.
Right. But I did start thinking of a hand-me-downs. You are the youngest sibling and I am the youngest sibling. So I'm sure that you and I have both had our share of hand-me-downs over the years. Yeah.
Less than you would think.
Well, yeah, you have a big gap between you and your siblings, but
specifically me and my brother. So it's like 17 years.
Yeah,
so
you had two other siblings.
Yeah, there were sisters in between me. So there wasn't at that point, brother was moved out and by the time I was around.
No cousins though?
Yeah, I would say any hand-me-downs that I got would be for Mike.
Right. Yeah, I think that's sort of the pipeline where I got my hand-me-downs from when I was young too, is, it was my brother and then my cousin who was born 4 years after him and then me who was 4 years after him. So like, there's always a hand-me-down pipeline. But currently, I wanted to know, like in your current life, you probably have something that someone didn't want. You were like, I could use that, and you've been using it. So what is currently I don't know, whatever. Let's just broaden this all the way out. What is the best hand-me-down item that you have ever received?
I have a World War II era bolt action 22 rifle. That was my grandfather's.
Wow. Have you shot it?
Nope, but it is in my room and it's in a nice eggshell crate.
Hell yeah.
But that would probably be my favorite thing that I have. I also have some Schultz and Dooley mugs and stuff.
Those things are cool.
That I got from them.
Anybody who's not a Utica native, I would recommend looking up these mugs, Schultz and Dooley. They are
such a cool concept too, with like all the different things that they've done with them over the years.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say those would probably be my favorite. I know we talked about it before. Obviously, I have my dad's camera. I haven't used that yet either, but I have it.
It's interesting. You went with like collectibles. I was thinking of like things that like I currently use.
I don't have anything from anybody else that that I currently
No?
use. No, I would
Okay.
say
Okay.
you have to think like I downsized my life so much when I moved.
Yeah.
Like I literally
Yeah.
only took what I could fit in my car.
Right.
So
But there wasn't something that,
nothing.
you know. Okay. Okay.
Like I didn't bring
Yeah.
anything with me other than
I get that.
the rifle. I brought that with me, obviously down there, but like there was nothing that I had so I basically rebought everything new.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sucks though.
Yeah, I mean it would have been like, I mean, what would it have been?
I
Like
know.
cooking utensils or stuff like
Sure,
that.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what else I would get.
Well, who knows? Like, I know you like to cook, and you did when you were down there, and you tried to when you were up here. I was wondering if there was like a pan or something, because usually like cast irons last forever.
No,
I was wondering if but
you know what's
either
weird?
way, like
my mom.
yeah, what?
I always like your product of your surroundings. So like I enjoyed my mother's cooking a ton when I was young. So like as I grew older, like she was a very safe cook.
Yeah,
She cooks the things that she knows and the way that she likes them, and that's it. So she doesn't have all that much stuff.
Yeah.
She's much more of a baker as
Yeah,
far
sure.
as like exploring, like doing desserts and stuff. That's right up her alley. So if anything,
It's,
I would say that it's something once I have my own house that I'll probably ask for is
Sure.
so you know the big like hutch cabinet downstairs in the kitchen that's always been there.
Yes.
Inside of that, there's a sugar bowl with like an old rustic red rusted tin that says sugar on it, like cover. And that was my mom's grandmother's.
Oh,
So
Wow.
I probably will ask for that.
yeah. That's probably like from the Depression. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like a really nicely made kind of like squared off circle, if that makes sense. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Squircle.
Yeah. So it's just a nicely made piece of glassware.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about you? What do you have that you like?
I was thinking of this. I'm like, there's got to be something else. I could think of two things. Something that I currently use, which is my snowblower.
Okay.
Like I was constantly like shopping for snowblowers. Like it's one of those things that feels like such a big purchase, so you gotta get it right. Especially like for my driveway that's like large enough that it actually would make a difference. But then my father was like, I got a new snowblower. You want mine? I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely I do. He like I like drove my truck back there and we like lifted it up into the bed of the truck. But for about the past year and a half, I've been using that. You know, it's not new, it's not pretty, but it works.
Makes your life easier.
It makes my life easier, and it's one of those things that like just when you're young, like hand-me-downs are like almost a nuisance. Like you're getting all these
You're like, why can't I have
pre-owned
this new thing?
clothes.
Why can't I get just
Yeah.
something new that's mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
But like these days, like a hand-me-down is just a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. And then the other one, maybe even the more important one, or at least the most long lasting one at this point, is our friend Vinny, your roommate, gave me his Razer Naga mouse with the 12 buttons on the side.
Yep.
And that was so important for me. I don't think that I could go back to the point that like that was starting to malfunction. So I had to get a new one. And I exclusively shopped for mice with 12 buttons on the side.
Yeah.
Like it's such a thing that I got so used to that I can't go back. I definitely can't go back.
I just thought of one that I didn't even realize. My secondary monitor is a BenQ that I bought from Vinny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get why that slipped past you, because like it's not like that's like an out of the ordinary thing that you would get
Yeah.
from someone that you didn't know that you already wanted. Like you already had a BenQ monitor, right?
Yeah. I just got his is 27. I had a 24.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I bought that from him, sold my 24 to somebody, and
Yep. I have two mismatched monitors right now, a 24 and a 27. And yeah, the 27 is a significant upgrade.
You want to hear something hilarious? So when I started at my job, it'll be 3 years ago in October.
Yeah.
They just had like mismatched monitors, and
oh god,
I get there and I'm in my cousin's old office, and like he sits down. I'm sitting down at the monitors my first day, and I'm like,
yeah.
I go into his office. I'm like, Mike, did you always have these monitors, or did you take these one? He goes, no, those are the ones I used. I'm like, bro, they're not even 1080. They were 1600 by 900, like 19-inch panels. And I was like,
you're professionals.
Nah. Yep. So the first year that I was there, I got 27-inch IPS panels because I brought it up in the thing that's what I wanted. Like, I need these monitors. They'll make my job easier. So they ordered them for me. And then Mike saw them and he was like, oh my God. Because Mike he has a small computer monitor at home and like a laptop that he does all of his stuff on. He's not like a big computer person either. So like he saw mine and we're like, oh my God. So the next time around, he was like, look, I want those same monitors. So he got them and loved them. And then just this last week, the girl at the front desk, which these ones I understand because originally the person that was like the receptionist was just like a receptionist / billing person.
Yeah.
But now it's like she's a receptionist / part-time designer because they just happen to be how they filled the role. But the monitors out there were the tiny ones because they were underneath the lip of the desk. You know what I mean? Like they had to fit underneath the thing.
Yeah.
So she's using those. And I was like, no, like we all need to be on the same color gamut. Everyone needs an IPS panel. Like have to get them. And so we got her the 27-inch one this year. And
you have 3 designers now?
We have ever since I started. She's just part-time.
Like that feels like the threshold to me. I'm not a professional, but I like tech stuff. 3 people feels like the threshold where you need to get like a complement of color matched panels.
Yeah.
You 3 can't be putting out stuff that are different. If you have different manufacturers, if you have different runs of panels, it's not going to be the same.
Well, it is because we use codes, like color codes. So like, it might not look the same to us, but it will be the same, like consistency wise. Like you won't see it but consistency wise, it would be the same. So like the final product where it was fine, but like
that makes sense.
For making it and like yes, it makes a big difference.
But like I'm saying, like if there's something like really big, right? Something you're working on that you want a second opinion on, like you should be able to send it to one of your fellow designers and have them look at it and see the same thing as if they just walked over to your computer.
Yep. And that's what we can do now.
But that's what I'm saying is if you have different panels.
Yep. Yeah. Nobody ever thought about it until me.
That's weird, man. That's weird.
Mike has been there 7 years.
Pantones existed since the 70s or some shit. Like,
yeah, we have the entire like Pantone booklet.
Yeah, but if you're looking at the Pantone booklet compared to the screen, it matters what screen that you have. Whatever. Yeah,
it does. Yes, I mean different monitors just look different. Like the colors would be different. Like the output would be consistent, but individual. You couldn't form an accurate opinion between the 3 people. No, that's what
I'm saying. Like, if you're busy and Mike sends you something to look at, like you click over to it, you're not necessarily seeing the same thing as he is.
No, we weren't.
Especially when you're looking, well, even with currently, right? Like, unless he got the exact same panel and you guys color calibrated them to each other, like you're not necessarily, it's probably going to be a tick or 2 off, right? But you're still not seeing exactly the same.
No, we all have them, and we have a color calibration thing.
Oh, well, then you're doing it right. That's exactly what I was getting at. Yeah, that all makes sense. It's like you're finally in the 20th century.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't even remember how we got onto that.
Who cares?
Scenario, but yeah, having those made a huge difference for.
Yeah, that's huge. That's Because we were talking about hand-me-downs.
Oh yeah, like monitors. Yes, yeah.
So yeah, you got to the monitor, and yeah. No, monitors are huge. Like it's a big deal. When you step up to a 24-inch monitor, like it's a huge deal. When you step up to 2 monitors, it's a huge deal. A 27-inch monitor is a huge deal, and 3 monitors.
Oh, it's so good. 3 monitors.
You can never go back.
No,
yeah.
I'm mad that my 3rd one broke and I haven't replaced it yet. But I will do.
Someday soon, I feel like I need to get another 27-inch monitor.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to flip my 24 to be a vertical monitor. That would be nice to have 2 landscapes and a portrait.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just got my setup dialed in, so I feel like I'm gonna drag my feet on that for a while.
Took you how long to get a new computer, so I wouldn't expect it to be quick.
My computer wasn't terrible. Like
no, but I'm just saying
I ended up
in comparison to everyone else. Like you had your computer for what? How many years?
6.
6, yeah. Like
which is about the lifetime that you could reasonably use a computer with a 70 level graphics card, right?
Yeah.
I used it until I tried to play a game and it gave me an error. Not enough video memory. I am currently using my chair. Have 5 cats. This chair is starting to get tore up. I spent, $140 on it. It was the most expensive chair that I bought at the time. But it's a few years old. It's all tore up now. And it's time to get replaced. So I did want to see for you, when do you feel like you need to replace things or upgrade things? Right? Like, do you run it into the ground? Only upgrade when you absolutely need to, or are there things that you're like?
It depends. So depends on how much of a necessity the item is. So my mouse, weird enough, the last few days, the right click button, like when I hold it down, stutters. Okay. So like I'll be aiming in Valorant, aiming down the sights with a bulldog, and it'll like aim in and out really fast over and over again. Like
if you're holding it
in, yeah. So like that, I can't just use it still. Like I'm gonna go buy a new one.
No, yeah, absolutely.
But something like I hold on to stuff forever. Like I had my other computer for. I always actually. It's I don't know why I didn't think about this, but a lot of my computer stuff was like, I guess I traded for it, but I had built a computer for myself.
Yeah. I wanted to dial into a certain view for a hand-me-down, right? Like something that you bought used isn't a hand-me-down. Yeah. So I would say, yeah. So when do you decide to replace something? What do you have in your life now? I guess
I have to weigh like the importance of it in my life versus the financial cost.
Sure. Yeah.
So like my mouse, it's an expensive mouse. Like it's $130. It's not cheap, but in the grand scheme of things, that's cheap. But like,
sure, yeah,
it's an integral part of my everyday life. Like I use my mouse every day for playing games, for design work. Like I use it all the time. Have to go replace that. My chair, and I think this just comes with like I know you get what you pay for. So like I bought my chair 6 years ago, and it's finally starting to like freak a little bit when I move. It's got a little bit of a rock to it. You know what I mean? Things are just like the leather, like the color portion of the leather, because I think it's kind of like some kind of like heavy grade fake leather, I'm assuming.
Sure, yeah.
The coloring is coming off of it in sections and stuff. But I mean, it's still a good functional chair. But I also paid $550 for it.
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
but like that's I'm gonna wear this thing into the ground.
Right. Side note: Have you noticed the shift from calling things pleather to calling things vegan leather?
No.
There's this shift that has happened very recently, where instead of calling things pleather, like the vinyl leather feel-alikes, like that was always a signifier of like low quality.
Yeah.
this is pleather. This is just vinyl that you think is supposed to be leather. And now it's sought after.
Yeah.
It's vegan leather. And it's like, it's just the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just an oil-based piece of material. Like, why do people fall for the marketing so hard?
Because people are impressionable.
I guess so. But people really don't think like one step beyond. What is vegan leather?
Stop you there.
Yeah.
You answered your own question. People don't think.
Yep.
Simple answer.
Damn it, Josh. I wanted to rant.
I mean, it just depends. Like a lot of other stuff, though, I wear to the ground. Like I hadn't built my own computer in like 7 or 8 years until I built this one I'm currently using.
Tell you what, though,
I hadn't bought most of my monitors, or I wait for a deal. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm not upgrading just to upgrade. Like I will wait for the right opportunity.
Okay, sure. I'll tell you what, though, the tech space is really weird, especially with computers. Like I've been watching a lot of this shit lately because I just upgraded my computer. Like I can't watch stuff when I need to upgrade, because it just makes me want these things that I can't have.
Yeah.
But after I've just upgraded and I'm like content with where I am, I'll watch the shit out of this stuff. So I've been watching a lot of reviews, a lot of like technical breakdowns of the current state of tech. And it's just weird. Everything sort of progresses at different rates. Like your computer is probably fine for the next 5 years if you just replace the graphics card.
Yeah.
Like my old processor that I just replaced, the particular one that I had wouldn't have been good because it was a lower model. But like that family of processor, a friend of mine just upgraded to the same family of processor, just the one above mine. And it works just fine because he has a better graphics card than the one that I had in my old computer. Like he has literally my motherboard. Like I gave him my motherboard when I upgraded. He just put a better processor in it and a better graphics card, and it is perfectly fine. Not even a newer family of graphics card, just the one above mine. Like that's how long I ran my computer, is that I got to the point where I was not able to run things with my processor and graphics card.
Yeah.
But like it's just weird. Tech is weird because it's so hard to understand. People don't put the effort into understanding it.
No. People don't realize that things change so fast.
Yep.
But, you could
some things do and some things don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, for the most part, things change. It's just like we, as a society, get caught up in the shiny new. Like, realistically, year per year, there's very little increase.
Yeah.
In new stuff.
Right. Wasn't Vinny thinking about upgrading to the new graphics cards?
Yeah. So was
Even though he has, well, doesn't Vinny have like a 2080 Ti?
He has a 2080 Super.
2080 Super. So he was like the difference is bigger than most other generations that we have experienced in our like adulthood, but it's not that huge difference. Even if he had gotten his hands on a 3080, like
the difference
what is
for
he
him
doing?
is like the quality of what you want. He wants to play 4K 60, and that's what you needed it for.
But like
I don't care about that, so it wouldn't matter to me.
Right. It's funny because if he had gotten that at the time that he wanted it, he probably could have made out like a bandit. He probably could have gotten a 3080 Ti, which is perfectly capable of 4K gaming, and then waited a couple months, sold his 2080 Super for more than he paid for
the
3080 Ti.
You're not wrong.
But that's just a weird situation.
Yeah, that
would have been cool if I had heard, someone that I knew was able to pull off a maneuver like that. That would have been cool as hell.
Yeah,
but
definitely. I know that actually happened. Not identical, but another situation. One of our friends had just bought a 2070 Super.
Yeah.
And then they announced the 3070s and everything like 2 weeks later. Like there was no information really about them, and then it was like 2 weeks they were available. They released them. And they have like a level up program. If you like order a card within a certain period of time before the new one's released, they'll allocate a card to you. Like you can swap them and pay the difference or whatever. So he had the 2070 like super, and he was able to get a 3070. Like ship the other one back. I think he had to pay like $50 to upgrade to the next one.
That's damn cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right. We seem to have dialed in on tech quite a bit here. I feel like maybe just because it's so rapidly
changing,
evolving.
You replace stuff more frequently in this field.
Okay. So what if we exclude tech? Is there anything that you have bought that you either have almost immediately wanted to upgrade, or conversely, something that you have bought that you have loved so much that you replace it at the last possible moment?
Very good.
I know that your car, like when you moved down to North Carolina, you ended up moving back up here, right? And you hit a deer.
No, I got an accident in North Carolina and totaled my car.
That was it in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So yeah, you ended up spending a while like
looking for a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that one, like it was hard to replace it. Yeah. You ran it. You had no intention of ever getting rid of it. Basically,
I was 2 months away from having it completely paid off.
Yep. Oh God, that's rough.
Yep. I would have had no car payment after 2 more months.
To be fair, you probably didn't have a car payment after the insurance payout.
Oh no, I didn't. No, I still got my money, but I would have much rather not had to jump right into another loan.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I definitely with cars. I don't know. Everything has to have a purpose for me. So if like it still fits the purpose and does the job, I don't really replace it.
Yeah. See, for me, I think it comes down to like hobby stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Woodworking is a hobby for me. I like to call it a craft more than a hobby because it just sounds like I'm wise. But that stuff, like I got my workshop like kitted out, and I'm kind of already thinking of upgrades for the tools that I already have.
Yeah.
There are some stuff that I need to get that I don't have, but I'm already looking at upgrades. And this is stuff that's like, it's a sort of long view hobby where you can't really think of like what is happening right now. You have to, especially when you're thinking about workshop stuff, you have to think of how is this going to fare 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of time frame that I'm looking at now. Like I have a miter saw that works, but if I get a better one, it'll work much better. Like there's some, I don't want to say basic functionality. There's some premium functionality that comes on more advanced saws that I would really like to have. But the one that I got, being as basic as it is, doesn't have. So stuff like that, like it's kind of the woodworker's curse, though. You're always looking to upgrade.
I think that's anything you're interested in for the most part.
Yeah.
See,
I know.
I like balance just cost versus stuff into everything. I think that's how I factor a lot of stuff. So I tend to go off of if I can get an hour for every $1 of usage, then it's worth it for me. So like if I need to like get a monitor, of like I was looking at new monitors. It's like, am I going to get, if I spend $500 on this monitor and this mount arm, am I going to get 500 hours of enjoyment from it?
Okay.
Like that's kind of how I weigh things out. So like for games, like I don't buy a lot of games, especially like new titles and stuff, because like I'm not going to get 60 hours worth of enjoyment out of it. It's not worth it to me.
Huh.
So that's kind of how I look at most things.
Yeah. I get that. That makes a lot of sense to me. It's funny thinking about games like that because like the games that I like, I feel like the games that I've put the most into are the games that I've spent the least on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's because the types of games that you're into are ones where people are like innovating, and no big name companies innovate anymore.
I guess that's true.
Like all the games you play are pretty different. Like I would say that they all have something different about them, and they're not like really in the same realm.
Yeah.
At least not the ones I watched.
You know what's funny? I just did a little math. You're like wait, what did I just do? Okay, hold on. $1 per hour, right? Is your sort of threshold here?
Yeah.
So like, let's see. Okay, so 1,500 minutes or 1,500 hour. 24, 62 days. Okay, at that cost, you could easily justify like yourself a borderline professional monitor at $1,500.
Yeah.
Like you only have to use it for.
But that's why I've started, and that's why I say when I switched to that mentality, I started buying nicer things.
That's a good point. Yep.
Like you pay for the quality so that you can your cost, your return on investment for what you spend is higher because it'll last longer. So like my chair, for example, I paid $550 for it, but it's lasted me 6 years.
Way more than 550 hours.
Exactly. And
yeah, man.
And then the same time period, I spent it up front, but there's people that in the same 6 years have gone through 3 chairs because they spend $140, $120 on a chair to get them by.
Right. Yeah. The chair is important. Like I spent $130 on this chair 5 years ago, but I am kind of handy. So like I have had to tighten screws. I had to pull the padding off of the seat in order to get to a screw to tighten down the arm bracket.
Yeah.
I have had to oil the hinges. I've put in a lot of this, and now I'm to the point where I can feel myself. I'm sitting on the cardboard underneath the padding. So I need to replace this chair. I have ran it right into the ground.
Yeah, I think it's all just comes down to perceived value for me.
Yeah.
Like I have to be able to just
perceived value. I am planning on spending $400 on a chair.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. And especially for me, like the cats destroyed this chair because it is a solid foam, vinyl lined thing. Nicole's chair is mesh. At least the back is. So the cats scratch on that and it looks fine. She's had it for 2 years. And it looks fine. So I'm looking to get like a fully just mesh chair so that if the cats scratch it, it's not gonna like kill the thing.
Yeah. There's some nice ones out there.
Shopping for stuff like that. Yeah, I know there are. I'm specifically looking at the autonomous ergo chair.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can quite justify $450, $500.
Yeah, you can.
I know I can, but damn it, Josh,
you definitely
it's hard
can.
to do. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do because you're thinking about it in the now and not in the future. Like think about how many $50 bottles of alcohol you'll buy in the amount of time you have that chair.
How dare you?
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I guess that's just how I look at everything now.
I do know. I went to a wedding up in the Adirondacks and we went to this bar there and I had the best drink I have ever had there. And now I'm looking to recreate it at home. And I'm realizing like the liqueur that I need is like $40 a bottle.
Yeah.
And I don't know which specific spirits they used. So like I either have to like
call and ask
get them. Over. That's absolutely what I need to do. I need to get over myself and call and ask them which specific ones they used.
Be like, this was really good. What did you guys use? I need to make it.
Instead of spending $30 and realizing that it's not right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a schmancy boy. Stupid.
I feel like
things that I buy are like $50.
That's where that's just how it is. Like I had my last headset. I had oh god, what were they? HyperX Clouds for like 7 years, and like the faux leather cups started to like peeling and stuff, and like they were just dirty. I mean, but they worked fine, but it was just like it was time for an upgrade, and I wanted the ones that I ordered now forever.
Okay. Yeah.
But they were $400.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I kept talking myself out of them.
I don't want to instill a little buyer's remorse in you, but like the foam cups and stuff, like don't most companies sell replacements for those? Like I know that people always talk up Sennheisers, right?
Yeah.
And Sennheiser just supports their products into oblivion. Like 10 years down the road, you can order replacement cups for them.
Yeah.
Did HyperX not do that, or did you just want the upgrade anyway?
It was like I wanted a wireless.
Yeah.
So
that's funny because I'm thinking about going back to wired.
No, don't do it, man. Why? Why would you go back to wired? I know exactly why. I know exactly why.
Why?
Because you have to charge them?
No. I have a charger on my desk.
Or is it because you think you're going to get a higher audio fidelity from the ones you want?
Not necessarily. Just because it's a little more cost effective, and I got wireless because I don't keep my computer near me. So wired didn't really make sense to me before. I would have to have a wire like running quite a ways away. But now that I have this new monitor with a USB pass-through, like I can just run the wire to there. I don't have to worry about the length. So like I see no advantage to wireless, particularly. Not in headset. Like an over-the-ear headphone, I don't see the advantage. I will never, ever, ever get wired earbuds ever again. That's the stupidest possible thing.
See, but like I just move too much in my chair.
Maybe. Well, I move a lot too, which is why it wasn't feasible for me before. But with being connected to my monitor, which I'm never that far away from, or I could even plug it into my microphone, which has a pass through. And I'm never that far away from that either.
Yeah.
Those two things, like I'm not that far away from. So the distance doesn't really matter. If I'm here or if I'm here, like it is a difference of 3 feet.
Yeah.
It's not a difference of, it's a difference between 1 and 4 feet, actually. Not the difference between 4 and 6 feet, which gets difficult because usually most cords that come with headsets are like 2 meters.
Yeah.
Right at 6 feet. So if you're like 4 to 6 feet away from your hub, like, yeah, that becomes an issue because you're leaning back and then you're stressing the wire. But for me right now, wire doesn't seem like a bad proposition.
See, I'm just like completely wireless though. I have wireless keyboard, wireless mouse, wireless headset.
Yeah.
Like I'm so free, Like
everything I have is wired.
If I'm eating at my computer, I do a lot. I just pick up my keyboard and my mouse and set them to the side. Like there's no cords. And like I get back in the day not wanting them, like the wireless peripherals, because they lag. They just weren't as good. Like I have to charge mine like every 3 weeks. Yeah. And like they just work great. So there's so much more freedom. And like say I'm gonna go make food and I'm still in Discord talking to friends. I'll switch to the microphone mic on the headset in Discord and walk out into the other room and be able to still have a conversation. I like that these ones can connect to my phone. So any like calls and stuff that I get while I'm in Discord, it'll still ring in my ears. So I can still hear it because you can connect to Bluetooth and 2.4 at the same time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I had not, I didn't know that was a functionality. That might be worth.
Yeah. So like they're always hooked to my computer. And then sometimes like I'll want to go listen to music in my room or like watch a movie or like an episode of something on my phone while I'm laying in bed. And like I'll just connect it and wear these in bed too.
That is a functionality that I had not thought of before, actually, that you brought up, is being able to walk away from the computer, still talk. I definitely have done that before.
Yeah.
The headphones that I'm using now, the microphone's busted anyway. So I can't. So I've lost that functionality. Maybe that's the reason that I forgot about it. But that would be cool.
And with these ones, like I can walk to the end of my driveway and you could still talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, I have used these headphones to when I was going down and feeding the cats, still talking to you.
Yeah.
There's a floor and 2 walls between there.
Yeah. So like having that functionality, I will say, however, the reason I went with these ones, like because these ones are $400, is the fact that I can change the batteries in and out. So like there's a battery that charges in the base station at all times. There's one in there, and then there's one in the earphones. And if it's gonna die, it beeps. I just swap them out, and there's one always charged. So like it's wireless, but it's never wired. Like I never have to plug it in. So there's just always a battery fully charged waiting to go. And like not having to charge it makes all of the difference. I would have been more pissed off having a wireless headset and having to plug it in while I was using it than if it was wired all the time.
Absolutely. That's what I have to do with my current ones.
Yeah.
If they're dying and I still need to use them, they need to be plugged in, and I don't have a power wire that is capable of reaching where I am comfortably. Like I can have USB through my monitor, but that doesn't do power. So like I'm still tethered to basically a 1 foot range of leaning back and forth if I need to charge these while I'm using them. So having the battery pack that is swappable, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And like I didn't realize it so much at the beginning because I was just using it for gaming. And I play mostly shooters and stuff. I'm not listening to stories and running through magical lands and stuff where like yes, the sound cues matter for what I'm doing, but they sound the same no matter what. You're not. I'm not making an environment. Painting pictures with the stuff like you would be in like a Skyrim or something like that, or listening to music. And the actual drivers in these headphones are so much better than the ones that I had.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize that at first when you're just used to playing it. But like when I went outside, like I've been listening to a lot more music and like watching music videos and stuff with it. And like, they're just phenomenal sounding. There's stuff I never used to pick up.
I think what you're talking about is the sound stage.
Yeah.
Since I've started looking at headphone reviews, that's a term that I've become familiar with. It's the wideness that you are able to pick up on. Like the best fidelity headphones are open back ones, but a lot of times the cheaper open back headphones which are not sealed, they have a hard time like expanding the sound stage, so you'll feel much more constricted with cheaper open back headphones than you would with decently mid-range closed headphones, where it'll feel to you like things are coming from way far to the right or way far to the left.
Yeah.
It sounds like that maybe what you're talking about.
You can just hear more. Like it just sounds more full.
I listened to a an analytical music podcast where he'll always talk about like you hear this thing like echoing off to the right channel, and like usually I'm listening on one headphone at work, right? Because I can't plug both ears. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, man, yeah, definitely. But like when I'm in my car and I have it tuned properly and I actually hear the thing that he's talking about going off to the right or off to the left, like it's a big deal.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
So I would just say that so consider these. I know they're more I like substantially more than what a wired one would be, but they offer a lot. And there's no other wireless on the market that I could find that offers all of these features.
I have too many things that I want, though.
Yeah. Oh, I know. A chair, a headset. But
Josh, you want to just like let me have like $5,000?
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back. Let me go to my personal bank.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, but I would say like I do your gaming chair, or do your chair and your headset before anything else.
I need stuff for the workshop too. You don't understand.
I do understand, because it's what do you use more? You'll get your money, your return on investment faster with these things. I'm not saying don't buy the other ones. I do, unless you're selling the other ones. I'm saying you'll get more use. Or you got to think about like how often do you sit at the computer? How long do you wear your headset?
It's a hard, you know how long I wear my headset? I have worn my headset this week for an hour and 42 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, that's because
how long
Monday.
we've been recording. Yeah, I don't wear my headset otherwise.
Really?
Yeah, I use my speakers.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. It's a weird thing. Maybe I would sit at my computer more often. I guess that's
the biggest thing is like, I forget that you don't talk to other people in Discord other than me, right?
Well, even when I'm talking to you when we're not recording, I'm listening to you through my speakers.
Yeah. Well, that's because you want
my speakers.
Nicole
my speakers are good.
Too.
My speakers are good because my brother got them for me as a Christmas present, and he like basically got the best Logitech speakers on the market. My headset is good. It's not great, so I listen to you on my speakers and just trust Discord's noise reduction to filter you out from yourself. And it works fine. Yeah. But it's a weird thing, right? Like, how much would I use this setup if I had better stuff? I don't use this setup very much, to the point where I'm having a hard time justifying myself buying a new chair. But if I had a new chair, how much more would I use it? I don't know. What is the right answer? Yeah. How do I adult?
I guess it depends too. It's like, you could, if you got these ones, you could use them for other things. Like, because you can connect them to your phone. So you could use them while you were in the shop if you wanted to.
No.
Because they would fall off your head?
No, I've actually looked into this. Headphones are not proper ear protection. I have considered getting like Bluetooth headphones as hearing protection, but it's just not worth it. It's better for your ears to have earbuds and like proper ear protection.
What about if the headphones had active noise canceling?
No, that's even worse, because active noise canceling plays noise into your ear to cancel out the noise outside of the cones.
So it would just be really loud.
It's still loud. It actually causes pressure on your eardrums trying to cancel it out. And if it's above what it's capable of doing, then it's doubly worse, because it's not blocking out the sound and trying to blocking out the sound. So it doesn't work that well.
I don't know. Maybe it won't. But a chair you definitely will use.
I know.
Maybe the headset not, but the chair, yeah, 100%. You sit in your chair all the time.
Not as much as you would think.
You are in your chair at least 3 nights out of the week. I look over and I see you playing one of your games.
If you see me playing Slay the Spire, I'm probably playing it on Steam Link while I'm riding the bike downstairs or while I'm in bed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I like to play games. I have a hard time justifying sitting here playing.
Well, it's because you do everything. You do most of your 90% of your gaming solo.
That's true.
I guess that's the biggest difference. It's like, I don't game solo really very much at all.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. That was quite the random spin off.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the doc. This is kind of how I intended this conversation to go, like just a jumping off point, and then we just sort of bullshit for a while.
Yeah.
I did not think that we would get so far off the mark, but I like it.
Yeah. Never know where we're going.
Never know. Okay. So TROVE, treasure trove, hand-me-downs, replacing and upgrading. Any last thoughts? Any last things that you have to add?
Nah, I would just say that anybody that's listening that isn't already doing so, that it's worth investing in things that are more expensive and are quality. Just do it.
And you know what? To link it all the way back to the sort of seed of this conversation, like one man's trash is another man's treasure. Woodworking and tech have learned me this: find what other people are getting rid of. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace is your friend.
Yeah.
Search what something is worth retail. And if you can find it used, especially like a chair, chairs can get pretty nasty. People are nasty, but especially tools. If you can find it used, it's probably going to be just as good as if you got it out of the box.
Yeah. Electronics, probably wouldn't say as much, just because there's so much that can go wrong with them.
That's true. Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean,
but
definitely.
If you see someone just saying, I wanted to upgrade.
Yeah.
What's the harm?
Yeah, you're just taking a risk, but you're 100% right. I mean,
Yeah.
My thing is like you can always one of my major things is with not only just that, and it's even the same thing with like taking time off. Like you can make more money. I can't make more time.
Yeah.
So like,
yep.
Spend your money, buy the things you want, enjoy the stuff because you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. Like just buy it, just get it and enjoy it. If it's going to bring you even the slightest amount of happiness, just fucking do it. Like, obviously there's lines to it, like you can't be completely financially irresponsible and put yourself in debt and stuff. But like a $400 share is not going to kill you.
Do some introspection, identify what you need, what you don't, what you can justify.
Yeah.
In everything. When my brother was finishing his basement, he, did the drywall himself. He did the painting himself. He did the trim himself. But when it came to putting the carpet in, he knew it's worth paying someone to come put this carpet in.
Yeah.
And he paid someone to do it because what he would have spent in time in having to redo it and it not being right and having to redo it again or whatever, it was just worth it to pay someone at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think it's important for it's really easy to get caught up nowadays in like the rat race. Just go to work, do your thing, go home. Everything just feels monotonous. And it's like, it was instilled in us to like always have a saving. I think a savings is a great idea. Like I think you do need to have some, but like the people that just save all the time and don't enjoy themselves, like you have to live. Like I work to live, not live to work anymore.
Yeah. Like isn't that something?
Like I just think people need to take that more into consideration. I think more and more people are getting there.
They're getting there.
It took me a while. I know that.
Yep.
I was nowhere near.
I just had to explain to my parents, like, we're experiencing a general strike right now.
Yeah.
They keep going, why does it seem like nobody wants to work anymore? I'm like, people want to work. It's a general strike. We'll see this get better when labor relations get better.
Yeah. Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. Like you work to live, and that's what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah. I want to be able to enjoy myself, do the things I want to do, buy the things I want to buy. I'm the opposite for most. So, I feel like a lot of people, you see the stereotypical like woman ordering in the 90,000 Amazon packages to the door because like it's so easy to just hit buy. I'm the opposite.
It is. Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Because I can talk myself out of it. But if I'm in the store, that shit's mine. I'm taking it home with me. There ain't no talking myself out because I can have it now. So like this headset, I wanted this headset for over 2 years and I kept talking myself out of it because I would have had to order it on Amazon. It wasn't even Prime. Like I would have had to wait a week. I'm like, well, I don't need it that bad. And then one day I happened to be looking and Best Buy had them in stock, which they hadn't in a long time. And it said they had 2 in store. And I ordered that shit for in-store pickup immediately. And it was when I had COVID actually. And I made my nephew, I ordered it for pickup and made my nephew go pick it up and drop it off on my front porch.
Nice. That's what nephews are for.
Yeah. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, just fucking do it. Because I could have it. I could have it then. Like, I knew I wanted it. It's like, I know it's a weird justification, but it's like, if I can go 7 days without it, why am I spending the money on it in the first place? Like, if I have to wait for it to get there, I don't need it that bad. So I always talk myself out. I'm like, you don't need to spend it. You don't need this. The one you have works fine. But when it's there, I'm like, oh, bro, the amount of dopamine I'm going to get from purchasing this is mine. I'm taking this home.
Wow, that is a wacky way to think. Yeah, I guess I get it. But like, dude, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you got to wait 7 days for it.
I don't know. That's what I'm doing that now. I'm having that.
If you were a pioneer, you would have had to take your carriage 2 weeks to go to that Best Buy.
I know. I'm having that same kind of internal debate right now, though, with my mattress. I told you the one that I wanted to get.
Mattresses are so important. It's something you got to buy like once a decade.
Yeah.
Just do it.
I know, but it's like it's the most I have ever spent on a mattress by far.
Man, every every year is something that you spent the most amount that you've ever spent on something. I spent.
This is 3 times what I paid for my last bed, though.
Yeah, but you got your bed from the Metro mattress across the street from the other Metro mattress before.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Like it makes a difference. Like there is a way to spend way too much. If you're getting the Tempur-Pedics that mold to your body and that have a frame that raises and lowers, like, yes, you can spend too much, but getting something reasonable is fine. It's the same thing that you did with your car, right? Like, you got a Passat. Like, it's more money that you ever spent on a car before, probably.
No, but surprisingly, I paid more for the Impala.
Seriously?
Yeah, back then, because the Impala was only 2 years old when I bought it. And this one I bought in 2020, right? Was it 20? No, I bought it in the end of 2019 and it was 2016. So yeah, it was like
this is silly.
Almost 4 years old at that point. So it was just older.
This is, man, the car market's so silly. You spent more for a car that was a quarter into its lifespan than you did on a car that was a third into its lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and the one that I have now has way more features. The other one was just the base model. This one's like loaded.
All right. Well, I don't know, man. And then my point is invalid. You win.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's just
I know.
You try to weigh it out. I'm like, do I want to get this one? Should I spend this amount?
Well, anyway, we should start wrapping up here.
This is true. We're getting a little rambly.
See if we can get it in before 2 hours record time. We have 2 minutes.
I think
3
we can
minutes.
Do that. So let's end with some acknowledgements. We'd like to acknowledge Josh Wardle, the original creator of Wordle, and Freddie Meyer, the creator of Wordle. You can find him at Wordle on Twitter. If you enjoy this content or if you play Wordle on a regular basis, stop on over there, find him. There's a link for you to buy him some coffee, and all that donated money goes to helping keep the game up and running and making improvements to it. We did. Definitely worth it. I highly recommend.
You may even feed him if you give him some money.
Yeah, that would be good.
God forbid. You can find us on Twitter. We are Quord on the Street, QUORD on the ST. On Instagram, we are at Quord on the Street, spell out street. YouTube /Quord on the Street. Hopefully you're listening to us over there. Like, subscribe, and comment on our videos. Tell us what we could do better or worse. And if you want to tell us on a different platform what we could do worse, please review us on Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Spotify, wherever you can leave a review, and tell us, what you like or don't like about us. I don't give a shit.
If you have something you want to send to us, it's more of longer format. You can send us an email at wordonthestreet@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, wordonthestreet.xyz. You can leave a voice message on there. So if you want to give us any ideas or suggestions for the show, or what word you would have picked and what topic you would have gone with from it, go ahead and leave us a message. You can also find us on our personal Twitter accounts. I'm Scuzzy. I am SKUZZEY.
And I am at V_C, spell out the underscore. And with that, we will come in just under time by asking you to get the Quord out.